Hey everybody, in this video I want to share with you the best cheap wide-angle lens you can get for your Canon camera. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, let me introduce myself. I am Nathan from Nate's Film Tutorials. I post gear reviews, filmmaking tips, tutorials, and behind the scenes every Wednesday. So if you find that interesting, why not subscribe? Alright, now let's talk about the Canon 10 to 18mm wide-angle lens. Now, this is a fairly inexpensive option from Canon, and it's pretty good in my book. And we'll go over a few reasons why. First, this comes in a price of about $300. However, you can find it even cheaper used, or I think what you guys should do is buy the travel kit option for $350, and you also get the 50mm f1.8. You're basically saving $50 to $100, so great buy. And then you can even buy that used as well and save even more money. There's a few things I don't like about the 50mm, particularly the fly-by-wire focus, which is still carried on to the 10 to 18. However, the focus by wire on this is a little bit easier to work with. What is so special about this lens? Well, if you're wanting a wide angle, which is I think why you clicked on this video, 10mm is very wide and I really like the look of it. What a wide angle lens does is brings your field of view, it stretches it out, which also stretches out the background. So you're gonna push things farther away and bring things much closer. And you have this different perspective that's a little off kilter, but it's definitely unique. A lot of times comedy uses wide angle lens really up close to get a very disfigured facial expression. This is an EFS lens, so you're gonna put this on an aps-c body like an 80D, 7D, T3i, etc, SL2, it will work with your camera. The equivalent focal range is about a 16 to, I don't know the math, hold up there. So the equivalent focal range is a 16 to 28.8mm in full frame terms, but we're not gonna really use full frame terms, are we? I wanna touch on the build quality because I know that's a lot of people's questions is, what is the build quality like? Well, it's a fairly light lens, but it feels durable. And I'll go into explaining that. It is a plastic construction, but it doesn't feel like the kit lens in any way. It has a nice smooth rubber grip for the zoom ring, which makes it very nice to adjust. And the focus ring too is quite smooth. One last thing it has up its sleeve is image stabilization. For video, this is going to help smooth out those little jitters here and there. It's not super necessary on a wide angle, but hey, it's there. I want to touch now on the image quality. It's actually very good and I really like the look of it. It's quite sharp, quite contrasty. It'd be great for photos and for video as well. It's going to give you a more clinical wide angle. It's not going to have too many distortions or whatnot. But for filmmaking in a narrative sense, I don't tend to mind vignetting or blurred edges as much. I think that just helps draw the eye closer to the frame. But if you're going out for a sharp look, this lens kind of works for that. I really enjoy this lens because I can put it on my C100, throw it at 10mm, and you get a very unique look, perspective. That's the thing with wide angles, and I've come to really enjoy. It's just their nature. You can pull in really close and just get a very different feel and look. The crazy thing about this though is even though the Canon C100 I have doesn't have any autofocus during the video, when you flip this into autofocus, it tracks during video. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's something I'm misinterpreting, but alright, so here's a brief test with the C100 and the 10 to 18mm lens. Again, it can actually track autofocus. I don't know if it's just due to it being a wide lens or maybe it's an EFS STM lens. I don't know, but it works, and that's the crazy thing about it. So you can move close and it's focusing, as you can see. Alright, so now let's touch on the negatives of this lens because there are a few. Your first thing and the major thing that really holds a lot of people back is the slow aperture. It doesn't let in a lot of light. It first starts at 4.5, which is not letting a huge amount of light, and then when you zoom in it goes down to 5.6. However, I think more and more cameras are having better ISO performance. So some of the newer cameras, you can raise up the ISO a bit. And like the C100, I can feel comfortable raising up to 5000 ISO. So it's not that big of a compromise. However, if the aperture range is holding you up, there's a few more lenses I would recommend. Number one, there's the alleged Tokina 11 to 16mm, which is an f2.8, and it's constant throughout the range. Another lens which you might want to look at is the Sigma 10 to 20mm f3.5, which is a constant lens throughout. And I think you can find it used for around $300, so not that much more, and you can get a constant aperture range. The second thing is you want to use this with a GH5 or whatnot, and you want to use a speed booster. Well, here's the thing. It's not really gonna function well because, as you know, Metabone speed boosters, focal reducers will accept EF mount, and this is EFS. There is a way to get around it. When I see many people, they just cut off this little plastic guard around the mount here, and that'll actually allow you to mount it on securely. Won't work with Metabone speed booster, but the Tokina or even the Sigma will work because they have the EF mount. So final thoughts, who is this really for? If you're a beginner filmmaker and let's say you only have the kit lens, maybe if you're just trying to see whether or not you like wide angles, you're not investing too much into this lens and you can sell it afterwards. Just see whether or not you want to work with wide angles in the future, if it's your thing or not. I definitely think a good wide angle lens is nice to have in your arsenal kit. Just for certain situations, you know, you maybe want to get a different look and style, or maybe you just need to fit a lot into a very small amount of space. Alright, so that's been a review for the Canon 10-18, a budget wide angle lens for your Canon camera. Thank you guys for watching. I just want to briefly ask you guys, if you want to help guide the content for future uploads, I just want to get to know you guys better as a viewer. So you can actually take a Google survey I created. It's less than 10 questions, and it sort of helps guide the future content, just me making better content for my viewers. Ask questions like, what camera do you use, or where do you see yourself as a filmmaker or YouTuber? Again, won't take much time at all, and it'll help me out greatly. Alright, so that's it for this video. See you guys later.